to it in the chat box in the bottom left-hand corner. If you could let me know that the volume's okay, you can hear me all right. Okay, so if everybody can hear me, let's get started. This webinar is going to be the 5 tips on how to clear your conditions faster. And like I said, today's presenters are Joe Pohl and Adam Long. I'm joined with my account executive, or our account executive. Hello. Hi. There's our handsome mugs right there. Don't laugh. So who is RAC? Most of you already know this, but we're a wholesale correspondent lender licensed in 16 states across the country. Some of the key benefits to working with us include 24-hour underwriting, no overlays, FHA down to 500, as well as VA and USDA down to 580 without the VOR for all our government-backed programs. We accept rent-free letter in lieu of the VOR, just so you know. And here you have direct access to our underwriters and closers, which we are going to be talking about in a little bit. The email at the bottom is prequals@racmtg.com. This is our prequel service. You can always send us a loan if you're unsure about it, and we'll take a look and let you know, usually the same day, if not the next, if it's doable with us. All right, let's start. Tip number 1, number your conditions. Number your conditions in accordance with the numbers on the acceptance letter. So all of you receive an acceptance letter once the loan has been pre-qualified, and once it's been reviewed after you submitted the loan submission package, you receive an acceptance letter. On this letter, there is a list of conditions that you have to submit in order to move the loan through the process. Each condition is assigned a condition number on that acceptance letter. So make sure when you submit the condition through WebLender, which we'll go through later, you include the condition number on the document, whether it's written, typed on there, or you can actually leave it in the comments section if you're sending one condition that is in accordance with a condition that's required. And I'll show you that in the comments section when we upload conditions later. But yes, please include it on the document anywhere, written or typed. This will help our underwriters assign the document to the appropriate condition number and clear it quicker. Tip number 2, thoroughly review each condition. So on the acceptance letter, each has a corresponding number, and they each have a full list of the conditions, any extra information that you need to know or conditions that need to be met. So make sure you read the entire conditions list on the acceptance letter, because each condition listed on the acceptance letter includes detailed information about what is needed to satisfy that condition. So make sure you review it in its entirety to ensure that when you submit your conditions, they match exactly what our underwriters are asking for on the acceptance letter. This will help clear the conditions quicker because it will prevent our underwriters from needing additional documents to satisfy that condition. And I'm going to back out of the PowerPoint for 1 second, and I'm going to show you an example of the acceptance letter. So this is one we just mocked up. The borrower's name is John Doe. So this is what the acceptance letter looks like. If you scroll down, you will see approval conditions, and these are the numbers that I was mentioning before. So condition 57, 59, 63, right here. So when you're submitting these conditions to us through WebLender, if you can include those numbers on the document that you submit, we'll know exactly what condition that is the appropriate condition for the number. And if you scroll down further, there's approval conditions, each with their own individual numbers, which you should include on each of the conditions you submit. Prior to docs.
Yeah, the prior to docs are generally the conditions that you, the brokers, have to key in on. You'll see prior to closing or at closing conditions. That's more for us internally for the most part, but prior to docs is what you guys have to key in on. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so we'll move on to tip number 3. Track your loan pipeline. So WebLender allows you to track conditions in your pipeline. Once you open up your individual WebLender page, you'll be able to see your pipeline, which loans you've submitted. And I will show you this, a live version of it in a few minutes. But you'll be able to click on your loan number, see exactly the details that were uploaded, the conditions. There's a conditions tab section, which you could track exactly when conditions have been submitted or when they've been cleared. And, you know, this can help us and you keep track of all the conditions affiliated with that particular loan. And if you do see a condition in your pipeline that hasn't been reviewed or cleared within 72 hours, feel free to send a friendly reminder to your underwriter. They are very open, they're very responsive to any of your needs. So if it hasn't been cleared within 72 hours, you know, feel free to send them an email. When emailing, make sure to include loan number, borrower name, and the number of the condition, just for faster response. You know, they'll know exactly what condition to work on. Tip number 4, set reminders for important dates. So make sure you guys are paying attention to expiration dates. On the borrower's credit report, on the appraisal, when you eventually lock, make sure you're paying attention all the time to those expiration dates. I find it very useful to set calendar reminders on your phone or even on your computer to notify you before these important items expire, because just letting one of them expire could significantly affect pricing, or it could lead to the loan falling through altogether. So make sure you're paying attention to that.
Especially on the locks. Don't let them go in the float now with how we've been seeing the market trends lately with interest rates rising. If you locked in when rates were great, well, better, and you go into float status and you have to relock, well, then you are subject to worst case pricing and the relock fee if it's, you know, applicable, of course. But as we've seen lately, rates have slowly been creeping up, and that's just something I can't stress enough. If you have to extend it, so be it. Do it, because an extension of 25 basis points beats losing a half a point or more on a worst case relock. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay. And also, we'll show you where you could check your lock expiration date in WebLender as well. Tip number 5, so I talked about this briefly before, email your underwriters. Send your underwriter a note each time you submit a condition for quicker response times. We are alerted every time you guys upload a condition to the file. However, if you want a quicker response time, just send a reminder to your underwriter that you submitted a condition and what exactly the condition is, so they can go and look at it for you. If you see a condition in your pipeline, like I mentioned before, that hasn't been reviewed, cleared within 72 hours, feel free to send them a friendly reminder. And, of course, when emailing, make sure to include the loan number, borrower name, and number of the condition.
I have to add a little something to that. Sometimes it might look like the same condition is existing, and you're saying, why is it not being cleared? The underwriters are supposed to, if what you said wasn't what they wanted to clear that condition, they should have an updated date on it and say, and put little like stars or asterisks and say, still need canceled rent checks. Received a VOR, but I need canceled rent checks, or something like that. If you didn't send them enough to complete clear the whole condition, they may have to get a little bit more specific with you. So yeah, reading the whole way to the end of that condition is important sometimes. I know our eyes just glance at stuff and we just move on and say, wait a minute, that's the same damn condition that's been there for, you know, the last 3 updates. So anyway, that's something to keep in mind.
Absolutely, and that's tip number 2. Make sure you read through the entire condition. So when you submit them, it's exactly what the underwriter's asking for, and we don't have to ask for additional documents like Adam just said. These are some additional tips. These are for other people you can reach out to if the underwriter is not available. Please take advantage of our very knowledgeable account support team, James Mannion, Mike Napoli, and Velma Cochran. Those are their email addresses right there. You can reach out to them directly, and their response time is very quick. So if you're looking to get a question answered, those would be the first line of defense, the first line of response right there. You can also utilize our live chat feature on our website. In case you haven't seen this yet, right on racmtg.com, as soon as you get to our homepage, or actually any subsequent page after that, there's a live chat button in the bottom right-hand corner. That is a direct message to me. So when you get on there and you click the live chat, all you have to do is put in your name, your email address, and it comes straight through to me. And I can either answer the question for you, or I can relay the message to one of our underwriters to answer later. Lastly, in our emails, the rate newsletters that I send out in the morning, or additional emails about our programs, there are so many options to reach us. There's an Ask an Underwriter feature at the top of our newsletter. If you click that, it takes you to our mortgage blog, which gives you the option of asking an underwriter a question. It will come to our general email, and it will be passed along to the underwriter that would be able to answer that question. Like I said, the live chat. You can also respond directly to the emails I send out. All you have to do is click reply, and it goes directly to me. We have the pre-qual submission option right on our rate newsletter as well. And we have social media buttons on most of the emails I send out. You can always click on our LinkedIn, our Facebook page. I monitor them every day, so you can ask questions through there as well. Not yet, but we're going to do a live Q&A at the end. Just so you know, you will get a live recording of this webinar to review, as long as the PowerPoint slides. There's our contact information. You can reach me directly. You can reach Adam directly at our phone numbers or our email address. If you have additional questions or didn't get a chance to ask a question today, please feel free to contact us directly. All right, so we're going to move on to showing you guys how to submit a condition. So we're going to log into WebLender here. A new window is going to pop up for WebLender. We're going to go to reports. For you guys, it's going to be LO Rep Pipeline, but for us, we're going to go by broker. And then you'll be able to see all your loans currently in your pipeline. You click the loan number that you want to look at. And this is a little bit of what I was talking about before. So when you get that acceptance letter, each of the conditions are numbered. And like I said, please number them when you're submitting the condition to make sure it's more streamlined and we get it cleared quicker. Also, the full list of conditions will be under this Conditions tab here. So like we said before, read through the entire condition. So when you're sending us the required documents, it's exactly what we're asking for. And this is right in your pipeline as soon as you click your loan number. These are your little tabs up here about the details, and this is the Condition tab.
Yeah, I was going to add something. Some of these conditions seem like a little, you would say, overkill. It may not even apply to your loan, but the underwriters have to put some of them on until they are, it's evidently clear that that condition does not apply to your loan, such as perhaps as of late, back in the day, there was a lot of storms that ran through the country, and there was a lot of different natural disaster areas that were declared by the president. And what happened was we were getting these loans closed and sending them to our investors, and they were conditioning us for 1004Ds or final inspections to be sure that the properties were not affected or damaged by the storms. And we were eating those costs post-closing. So until we can ascertain whether or not that appraisal was done after that, if that area maybe never was a disaster area, but, we just have to cover our butts and make sure that it's not in a disaster area and a 1004D is not required to provide evidence that it has not sustained any damages. And some of the other things like please provide retirement documentation if using any type of retirement funds to close. We put that on there because we don't know at the beginning of the process whether or not your borrower is going to use a 401k or IRA or some type of retirement fund to use for funds to close. So until we can document on a checking or savings account that you have the funds to close, we leave that on there. And once we're sure that you do have money from a gift or savings or checking, then we can remove it because now we know you're not using a retirement fund to close. There's a couple other ones on there that, if your property is in a PUD, Well, you'd be like, well, I'm in the middle of the country. Of course I'm not in a PUD. Well, we don't know that yet. But once we review the appraisal, we can, obviously see you're not in a PUD. We can remove that condition as well as, obviously, the appraisal condition. So certain conditions have to be viewed first in order to remove other potentially unknown conditions or conditions that were put on there because of unknown information. So that's that.
Okay. So back to this. This condition section of your individual loan. Like I said, this is always good to track your pipeline. This way you're aware, we're aware of when things have been received and when they are cleared. So as you can see where it says prior to docs, where you're going to be focusing, there's a received and a cleared tab. So when we receive the documents, there'll be a date underneath here letting us know exactly the date that we received that condition. Once our underwriters take a look at it and the condition has been cleared, the system gets updated immediately and saying exactly when those conditions were cleared. So I behoove you to check your pipeline, when you haven't heard from us or if you have any questions about something being received or cleared, come here first. I mean, this is definitely beneficial for you to take a look at just to see where you are or where the condition is at in the process.
Yeah, and usually you're going to get an updated loan approval from the underwriter anyway, but in case you missed it or something or lost your email or you're a party that might not be on that email, usually we try to get it to the loan officer and the processor in our queue, but maybe you're another person that's working on the file that you weren't on that email and you were left out. This is a way to check as well. So
absolutely. Okay, and like I mentioned before, tip number 2, review all these. I mean, this is the complete detail that's going to be in the acceptance letter, so come here if you have any concerns about the condition you sent in. It might not be exactly what we asked for, so you can come back here and look at the full description. Okay, so when you click the loan number open, I'm just going to walk you through about how to submit a condition really quick. You're going to go to the Images tab here once you've selected the loan number that you want to add a condition to. You're going to add a new image here. It's going to bring you to this section. This is a drop-down menu right at the top. This is a condition, so that's what we're going to select. You're going to select your condition, whatever file that you're uploading. And in the comment section here, this is what I mentioned on tip number 1, to make sure to number your conditions as you send them in. So if you are sending in just one document that satisfies one condition, put it in the comment section what number that condition is. This way, once it's submitted, we'll be alerted and we can tell exactly what condition number it is, and it makes for a very fast response time.
And that's a good point. However, there might be a time where you actually put in a bulk of your conditions. Now, numbering them is great on the top left-hand corner of the page, and we understand that you can't specify in the comment section when you upload the bulk of your conditions, so that's a lot of stuff. But like sometimes you don't get title until a little later in the process, so you might have all your title work. So you could upload one PDF and say, input in the comment section, title work or title commitment, CPL, wire instructions, whatever it may be. That type of stuff I do all the time. I mean, I rate retail stuff, so I'm on your level. I know what you go through. So I do that. I try to help my underwriters out as best I can. If I can label it, if it's just a couple things like survey and survey invoice or something like that, I'll just type it in there so it stands out in the image center instead of just looking at one thing that says conditions. Now, like I said, that's okay when you're uploading your bulk. But when you're uploading bulk, it's really important to label them because that number just draws the underwriter's eye to that condition right away. And then they know right away that that's the condition you're trying to clear. It just helps speed them up. And if it speeds them up, then they can get to more files and it helps everyone.
Yeah, it helps everyone in the end.
Including you.
Yeah. I mean, our objective is to close more loans, obviously, and so is yours. So that definitely helps the underwriters, and you move through the process a lot faster, and that's why we hosted this webinar today, how to clear conditions quicker. So yeah, you're going to upload your file here, like I said, and then in the comment section you can number, or like Adam just said, you can write exactly what's in the bulk file, the survey, appraisal, whatnot. Just
revised appraisal, because we all know we get stiffed on the appraisals where, I need another comp or something like that. Then you can just upload it, because you're going to already have the appraisal in the system, and this will separate that apart from the original appraisal. There'll be revised appraisal on 3/9/2017. So I try to stay pretty specific with that type of stuff, just so it stands out in an underwriter's eye.
And then once you've uploaded the file, put in your comments, you're just going to click Add, and then it's going to be added to the conditions section. And then, like I said, you could check your pipeline, see when it was received by us, and eventually see when it was cleared by us. Okay. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here. And we'll move on to the last slide. Like I said, we're going to host a live Q&A. So in the bottom left-hand corner in the chat box, if you have any questions, you have me and Adam here live. We'll give you guys about a minute to think about if you have any questions. And like I said, you guys are going to receive a recording of this webinar, as well as the PowerPoint slides to review. And if you do have any questions, you have plenty of people to reach out to, such as Adam and I. Also, our account support team, which I gave you the email addresses before.
Top left, top right corner to mark.
Okay, we got a question. Should you guys mark top left or top right corner to mark condition?
You know, I say top left because that's just generally where I put them. If you go right, I don't think it matters either way because numbering them stands out either side. So left, right, it's okay. I'm a lefty.
Yeah, I would say as long as it's big enough for us to see, it doesn't really matter what corner it's in. As long as it's numbered, it's there, we will see it. Any other questions?
Yeah, Alejandro's coming in now.
All right, like I said, if you guys can think of any questions now, you can always ask us, contact us directly.
You want to show them the live chat button just in case?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
In case they don't want to, talk or something, they can just chat you.
Let's do that. All right, so like I was mentioning before,
Alejandro's saying, bulk conditions are to be ordered by number. If okay to send them that way, or
actually, so the question is,
yeah, go ahead.
Bulk conditions are to be ordered by number, if okay to send them that way or individually.
Bulk, I stack mine and save them and number them. That way you can scan them into one big PDF and upload them that way. That way when, on our side of things, the underwriter just double clicks on it and sees exactly what your images are, and as he or she scrolls on down, they're in order. They're in numerical order. They can see the number. They can check them off as they go, and it makes it easy on them. So it doesn't matter if you upload them bulk like that, as long as they're in numerical order and they're numbered. That makes it really easy for everybody to clear them. So.
Okay, so like Adam mentioned, I open up the home page of RAC. If you see in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a big button that says Live Chat. The only reason it wasn't on before is because I paused it to host this webinar. But this is a direct message to me. So if you guys have any questions after this webinar or any questions about any loans you guys have, always feel free to click that live chat open and send me a direct message. If I can't answer it myself, I'll ask for you to hold on for a second, and I'll contact one of our underwriters or Adam to answer the question for you. And we have a question coming through. Okay, what's your niche?
Our niche products? Well, I think what we usually take the lower score borrowers. A lot of the bigger lenders have cutoffs on specifics, such as maybe a 620 cutoff or even 640 on USDA. Some guys won't even take anything but a USDA GUS accept. Of course, we take refers all the way down to 580. FHA, We will go down to a 500. Anything under a 580 requires 10% down. I know there's lenders out there that will probably go down to 550 or something like that. But if you do have a trouble getting a place somewhere, I mean, you know, we go down to a 500. VA will go down to a 500. LTV is not affected by credit score. It's 100% all the way down. So I would have to say that's probably our niche, that we take some of the files that other lenders turn their nose up at. So.
And another thing I see in talking to a lot of brokers and loan originators is that they can't find a lender to go that low on credit scores with no overlays. And I would say that's another one of our niche. We underwrite to the guidelines. So even if the credit score is in the 500s, we underwrite to the guidelines. There are no overlays with us.
I think another big one, I don't know, it happens quite a bit, in today's day and age where people live rent-free. And most of the time people are like, well, I can't do an FHA loan. I need a VOR with 12 months worth of canceled checks. That's not always the case. If you have somebody that's legitimately living rent-free, we can get the deal to work. We'll take the rent-free letter in lieu of the VOR, so you don't have to worry about it. If I'm living with a mom or a friend for the last year trying to save up for a house, I don't have any verification. And also, this is one, a lot of these landlords, if it's a private VOR, they want cash. They don't take checks, and a lot of these guys don't give them receipts or anything like that. So sometimes, not sometimes, all the times, we'll take a private VOR. We just request that the landlord make commentary in the comments section that he does mandate his tenants to pay in cash. And he can go on to comment whether, hey, these are great tenants, they always pay on time. Or you can always have the VOR added to the credit report as a supplemental trade line, meaning your credit vendor, customer service rep will reach out to that landlord directly as a third party and verify the rent, like $800 a month. They've been paying it on time, any 0 times 30, 60, or 90s in the last 12 months, and put it right on the credit report as a supplemental trade line. And, that's a pretty good source right there. So we accept it.
That would be some of our top-of-the-line.
Because I know some guys will be like, no VOR, no loan, forget about it. You got 100% payment shock. I'm done with you.
If you want additional information about the specifics of our programs, you can email me directly, josephp@racmtg.com. It's in the last slide.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'll give you guys maybe a few seconds, see if there's any last-minute questions, and then we're going to close up shop. I have one more question coming through. Okay, maybe he changed his mind. All right, well, like I said, we're available if you have questions after this.
Here it comes.
Oh, here we go. All right, we're going to wrap it up. So I just want to thank you guys for attending the webinar. I hope you were able to take something away from this about how to clear your conditions quicker. We thought it would be very beneficial to host this webinar today. I know a lot of you have questions about conditions, and sometimes, they're with us and you're not sure if you submitted the whole condition or what's going on. So we thought it would be beneficial for you guys to know exactly our thoughts, our tips on how to clear them quicker with us. And like I said, I really hope you were able to take something away today.
I'll add one more thing, and I'll shut up. I go through the same stuff that you guys do. I take great pride in my conditions, and I upload them. And yeah, sometimes the underwriters miss them. They miss something, and they stip me for it again. And I get annoyed with them. I go, man, I have it in there, and I'll find it. It's there. But rather than me proving a point to them and making them feel like a dummy, I just restack it again and just upload it, make sure it's numbered, of course, and just say, yeah, here it is, no problem, instead of tearing into them. Because they do miss stuff, I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, we're all humans. We make mistakes. That's why if you follow these tips, like sending the email reminders and checking your pipeline to make sure we received it and all of that stuff, hopefully that'll help with the communication, and that'll help with getting your conditions cleared quicker so you can get to that closing table.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, thank you so much for participating in this webinar.
Thank you.
And like I said, you'll get a recording of the webinar as well as the PowerPoint slides with our contact information on it. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks again.
Thank you.